हरे कृष्ण। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। One very important thing to understand is why there are a dispute and conflict in this material world, and whereas in spiritual world we don't find. One of the main reason is there is no contradiction. Actually, the energies in the spiritual world, it does not, they don't contradict, they are in very much harmony. The contradiction are combined in a harmonious way. Like if Lord is said he is shapeless or formless, because he is everywhere. As if somebody is, who is everywhere can not have a form, he is formless, and s- but he is having a very finite form also. When Yashoda wanted to bind Krishna, it was impossible to, because he expanded. He could not, she could not understand why she is not able to bond. He became formless. So now it is very illogical, right? Now there is a combination of form also, no form also. How is it possible? Is shapeless also, is formless also at the same time. And there are so many things like that. He has no names. At the same time, all he has all the names also. He is the original source of dharma. At the same time, he dances with the other people's wife. He does not work. At the same time, he's constantly doing something. He's constant. So he is never inactive, and this is the combination. So there is harmony in the spiritual world with this, within this quarter, like heat and cold. They don't contradict each other, and this is actually, and that's the reason we cannot understand how they are combined if we accept the in a logical way. So we have to go with the logic of Shastras. So now what happens is we see these energies when it comes to material world, now they are always conflicting. Conflicting energies constantly collide with each other. Because in this material world, it is necessary. This is why it happens. There is always contradiction. Because uh, in the spiritual world there is harmony. Here it is not there. That's why they collide,
Correct.
and that's the reason it is not a place for a gentleman in this material world. We cannot. It's always colliding here. People constantly fight, argue with each other, and now what is harmony in this material world? Understanding that ultimately Lord is behind all these things. This is a manifestation of ill will. He want to teach us that this material world is not a place for us. Ultimately, energy, his Shakti is incomprehensible, and he is the Shaktiman who conducts or controls this energy, inspires the living entities of all this Parasha Shakti. And the wider context that we see, the widest context is to understand God with his energies. This is most important thing. So here we are seeing the conflicting energy of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. They are fighting Lord Shiva, uh, and Tamoguna representation, and Daksha and the parties they are representing mode of Tamoguna and Rajoguna. So this is the conflict is happening, and we can see the result is Sati is leaving her body. In the spiritual world, even though there is contradiction, it does not contradict. In the metal world, it's contradicting. It's always breaking. You are cold means we don't, we want hot. Hot means we want cold. So this is always, we go like that. Krishna is telling this metal world, you always have to fight. You always have conflicts. And that is happening from the beginning of creation. And with the top people of the creation, Brahma, Daksha, Shiva, and we can find in Puranas there are fight between Shiva and Brahma also. So this is this is there in the Puranas also. That means there is always fight between the modes because this is material. We cannot understand the spiritual realm with the material logic. We need the logic of Shastra only to understand. That is also another important thing. So here we are seeing that in the previous verses, we'll just 2 3 verses we'll just go through. First of all, she sat in the required sitting posture, and this is about Sati, and she carried the live air upwards and placed it in the position of equilibrium near the navel. Then she raised her life air mixed with intelligence to the heart and then gradually towards the pulmonary passage and from there in between her eyebrows. Thus, in order to give up her body, which has been so respectfully, affectionately seated on the lap of Lord Shiva, who is worshipped by great sages and saints, Sati, due to anger towards her father, began to meditate on the fiery within the body. So there is one more reason that is explained in the Puranas, that when Lord Ram was searching for Mother Sita, that time Shiva and Sati were going actually on the Akasha mark, so, in their aeroplane. Then Sati sees Lord Ram crying and searching for Sita, and Shiva offers obeisances. So Sati asks, why is he crying? In search of Mother Sita. That if he's Supreme Lord, why he is crying? He should be beyond all these things. He should know where is Sita and what is this. He is the Supreme Lord, why he is behaving like this. So Lord Shiva said, alright, don't bother about it. But Sati wanted to do some experiment. So she takes the form of Sita and goes to in front of Lord Ram. Lord Ram sees Sati in the form of Sita and says, Lord Ram says, oh Sati, what are you doing here? Where is your husband, Lord Shiva? And Sati feels very embarrassed that I have tried to trick Lord Ram, but he caught. And she goes back to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva says, what happened? Sati did not say anything, but Lord Shiva immediately could go in his meditation and see what happened. And Lord Shiva said, Array, you made a mistake. You should not have taken the form of Mother Sita. Now, because you took that form, I cannot maintain that relation with you now. That's the reason Sati quits her body and comes again as Parvati, because she did this mistake. That is the story from Puranas. And she concerned, so there are multiple reasons. One is, anyway, Sati thought, anyway, I cannot, because Lord Shiva is not going to accept me in this form anymore. And this fellow Daksha is also not behaving properly. And better leave this body, take another body, and have be happy. And instead of being called as Dakshayani, which is very embarrassing all the time, because my father is so envious, even though he's in such an exalted position, he is behaving badly. And this always happens. Daksha is every time. There will be always conflicts in this material world, because this there cannot be harmony. And then Sati concentrated all her meditation on the holy lotus feet of her husband, because ye yataman, sorry, yanti devrata devan pitrum yanti pitravatam. If you we remember the shloka from Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says that whomever you are meditating at the time of death, if you are meditating on Pitrus or Devatas, you go to them. So she meditated on Lord Shiva. Where she will go, she will back to Shiva only, who is the supreme spiritual master of the three worlds of the world. And thus she became completely cleansed of all taints of sin and quit her body in a blazing fire of meditation on the fiery elements. Any element you meditate, you can gain the powers of that element. If somebody is meditating on earth element, he can become so heavy and he can produce so many fragrance or whatever qualities of earth are there, you can develop. That's the reason if there are some videos from Kumbh Mela here there where some yogis are putting their hand in fire, and no, one person was literally sitting in a fire pot, like yajna kund only, and so much fire is there. So basically, he meditated on the fire element. So now, because he meditated, he developed the qualities. So he will not be burnt by fire. So it does not happen. He just concentrates, and the fire element cannot touch him. His body won't burn. That's the same thing, water, any of the element you are burning. So here Mother Sati is meditating on fire element, and but she want to not get burned, but she want to get burnt. Here she is using it for a different purpose. She has control over it. And then here we'll read this purport again. Sati at once thought of the lotus feet of her husband Shiva, who is one of the three great personalities of Godhead in charge of management of metal world, and simply by meditating on his lotus feet, she derived such great pleasure that she forgot everything in relationship with her body. So even meditating on Lord Shiva, that concentration helped her. And this pleasure was certainly material because she gave up her body for another body that was also material. But by this example, we can appreciate the devotee's pleasure in concentration his mind and attention on the lotus feet of Lord. So we discussed this also. Like Sita and Ram story, we were discussing like when the Shiv Dhanush was broken by Lord Ram, the the noise was heard. It was so tremendous even in the heavenly planets also. But Sita, who was just in the next, no, within the palace, she could not hear. And then the servants of the assistants of Mother Sita goes to her and tells, "You know what happened?" She says, "What happened? You didn't hear the sound." She said, "No, I didn't hear the sound." Then they say no, Shivadhanush, it was broken by Lord Ram. Then she says, "Oh, like that." Now, why she could not hear? Because previous day she saw Lord Ram and she fell in love with him. And because of that, she was so much absorbed in the meditation on Lord Ram, she could not hear only. That was the absorption she had on Lord Ram. So that's what Prabhupada is writing. By this example, we can appreciate the devotee's pleasure in concentrating his mind and attention on lotus feet of Lord. There is such transcendental bliss in simply meditating on the lotus feet of Lord that one can forget everything but the transcendental form. So every day morning we have this opportunity to enter into this samadhi state where we can meditate on the lotus feet of Lord when we are sitting for chanting. This is the perfection of yogic samadhi. Dhyanavastita tadgatena manasa pashyantim yogino. In this verse, it is stated that by such meditation, she became free from all contamination. So anything we are meditating on pure, we will be free. We are sitting in front of a movie, we are meditating fully on the movie, then we will not be free from contamination, but rather we bring contamination. So what was that contamination? The contamination was her concept of the body derived from Daksha, but she forgot that body relationship in trance. The purport is that when one becomes free from all bodily relationship within this material world and simply places himself in the position of an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord, it is to be understood that all the contamination of this material attachment have been burned by the blazing fire of transcendental ecstasy. It is not necessary for one to manifest a blazing fire externally. For if one forgets all his body relationship within this material world and becomes situated in spiritual identity, it is said that one has been free from all metal contamination by the blazing fire of yogic samadhi or ecstasy. So this is and for us, Prabhupada, simply by chanting the holy name of Supreme Personality God, by remembering the lotus feet of Krishna, by simply offering prayers to Supreme Personality God, one is immediately freed. So for us, without a second's delay, Prabhupada says. So why it is not happening for us, we discuss this also, because so much offensive attitude we are having. That's the main reason we are not getting that benefit. So no negative thought about anyone, no negative thought, no hearing negative about anybody, do not thinking I'm superior to anybody. Any of these things will affect our chanting. So according to Srila Jiva Goswami, when Sati quit her body means that she gave up within her heart her relationship with Daksha. So this is the first thing Jiva Goswami says. She first cut the relationship from the heart. Srila Vishnu Chakra Thakur also comments that since Sati is a superintendent deity of external potency, when she quit her body, she did not get a spiritual body but simply transferred from the body she had received from Daksha. Other commentators also say that she immediately transferred herself into the womb of Menaka, her future mother, that is the wife of Himalayas. So she becomes Himalayas' daughter. And she gave up her body she has received from Dakshanmuni, transferred herself to another better body. But this does not mean that she got a spiritual body. So that is the reason she gave up her body, because of the Purana stories. So when Sati annihilated her body in anger, there was a tumultuous roar all over the universe. Why had Sati, the wife of the most respectful demigod Lord Shiva, quit her body in such a manner? So it's a very, very tragic incident at that time, because she's very young, of course, whatever, young or old, but thing is, she is such a important personality for the whole universe. Important personality because Lord Shiva is important, and his wife Daksha is important, his daughter, and Brahma is important, his granddaughter. So she is like in a very, very exalted position, and herself personally, she is the superintendent deity, and anybody will be definitely concerned about it. And and the way she quit her body, and there was a tumultuous rolling and very tragic also. She has to commit suicide and die. Anybody will feel very bad. Why she has to live like this? Anybody in that position, this mental world is so cruel. See, we cannot. She could not even resolve her family problem. Then, if it happens with Sati, Daksha, and Shiva's family, they could not resolve. Many times it happens. There are things are so complicated, and people they call, they say, Prabhuji, do some katha in our house. We are not able to solve our family problems. And somebody calls and tells, do some yajna in our house so that we can solve the family problems. But it cannot be solved only. It is very cruel material nature. We have to accept these things. No matter, whole Pandavas, Kauravas fighting is family fight only. For property, for women, and for power. This is the fight there. And even Ramayana also, there is a fight for power. Kaikeyi wanted power. Of course, Bharat and Ram didn't want, but there is a fight. Same fight happened between Vali and Sugriva. They also having fight for power and women. So this is a very, very standard story. And then and within the family also, problems. Kaikeyi is part of the family. And there is part of within the families, always this is there and never ends only. All stories are like that. So here, unfortunate situation, very sad actually. Sati has to quit her body in a very, very wrong way. And there was a tumultuous roaring all over the universe in the societies of the demigods of different planets, because Sati was the daughter of Daksha, the greatest of all kings, and wife of Lord Shiva, the greatest of all demigods. Why did she become so angry that she gave up her body? Since she was the daughter of a great personality and wife of a great personality, she had nothing to desire. That means everything she is there for her in terms of opulence, power, name, but still she gave up her body in dissatisfaction. Can you imagine? People think if I have money, I'll be happy. My husband is the most powerful, most beautiful, most this thing, I'll be happy. And what Sati did not have. Certainly, this was astonishing. One cannot attain complete satisfaction even if one is situated in the greatest material opulence. See? Prabhupada is making so clear. Even if we are in the greatest material opulence, one cannot attain complete satisfaction. There has nothing Sati could not achieve either from her relationship with her father or from her relationship with the greatest of the demigods, but still, for some reasons, she was dissatisfied. How, what can be more tragedy than this? But you have everything at your disposal. She can get anything from her father, because all the demigods are under control of Daksha. He's supreme person there almost. And Lord Shiva, he is the three top people of the universe. And but still, no, what is materially and everything she had. Therefore, explained that Bhagavatam 1 to 6 explained becomes completely satisfied only when develops, sorry, that one has to achieve real satisfaction. Ye Atma suppresses, but Atma, the body, mind, and soul, all becomes completely satisfied only if one develops devotional service to the Absolute Truth. Savai pumsam paro dharmo ito bhakti radokshije. Adakshaya means absolute truth. If one can develop this unflinching love for the transcendental supreme personality of Godhead, that can give complete satisfaction. Otherwise, there is no possibility of satisfaction in the metal world or elsewhere. So, quite simple. अहो अनात्मनं महदस्य पश्यता प्रजापतेर्यस्य चराचरं प्रजा जिह्वा असून्यद्विमनतात्मजः सति मनस्विनीमानम् अभीक्ष्णमर्हति. It was astonishing that Daksha, who was Prajapati, the maintainer of all living entities, was so disrespectful to his own daughter, who was not only chaste but also a great soul, that she gave up her body because of his neglect. So he is Prajapati, he is maintaining all living entities. He is also compassionate, he is also concerned of the living entities, but somehow with Shiva it didn't work out for him. So the word anatma, yeah, is significant. Atmaya means the life of the soul. So this word indicate that although Daksha appeared to be living, actually he was a dead body. Otherwise, how could he neglect Sati, who was his own daughter? It was duty of Daksha to look after the maintenance and comforts of all living entities. So he is doing actually. He is like top person who is taking care of all living entities, creating them, giving them opportunity to get a material body. Because he was situated as Prajapati, the governor of all living entities. Therefore, how is it that he neglected his own daughter, who was the most exalted and chaste woman, a great soul, and who therefore deserved the most respectful treatment for her father, from her father? The death of Sati, because of her being neglected by Daksha, her father, was most astonishing to all the demigods of the universe. सोऽयं द्रुमर्षहृदयो ब्रह्मदृक् लोके प्रकीर्तिं महतीमवाप्स्यति यदङ्गजं सव पुरुषः द्विउद्यता न प्रत्यश्यदमत्रये परादतः. Daksha, who is so hard-hearted that he is unworthy to be a Brahmana, will gain excessive ill fame because of his offense to his daughter, because of not having prevented her death, and because of his great envy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, Lord Shiva's, he's wearing skulls, na? All the skulls are actually Sati's skull only. Every time she comes, every kalpa there is Daksha's yajna, and she fits her body, and then Lord Shiva wears that skull of Sati. So that is one of the explanations. Daksha is described here as most hard-hearted. So what? So, and therefore unqualified to be a Brahmana. Brahmadrik is described by some commentators of mean Brahma Bandhu or friend of a Brahmana. A person who is born in a Brahmana family but has no Brahmanical qualification is called a Brahma Bandhu. Brahmanas are generally very soft-hearted and forbearing because they have the power to control the senses and mind. Daksha, however, was not forbearing. Further, Simple reason that his son-in-law, Lord Shiva, did not stand up to show him the formality of respect. He became so angry and hard-hearted that he tolerated even the death of his dog, dearest daughter. So this is how much a person can degrade because he wants respect. And actually, he cannot live his own life. He lives for the respect what others give for him. And this is another problem with this social media. People, they put some videos and all, and they want the people's others' opinion, approval of other people. And now they want approval of other people. So they always have to create a content and post in such a way that others approve. And even though he may he don't like to do that activity, he will do it because he is now programmed, he is conditioned, he becomes slave of others' opinion. And Daksha is also like that. He became slave of others' opinion, and he is thinking, oh, everybody should respect, at least externally. And now, because he didn't get it, he immediately got affected. Forgetting all the past, so now he says that Sati tried her best to mitigate the misunderstanding between the son-in-law and the father-in-law by coming to her father's house even without an invitation. At the same time, Daksha should have received her, forgetting all past misunderstandings. But he was so hard-hearted that he was unworthy to be called an Aryan or Brahmana. Thus, his ill fame still continues. Daksha means expert, and he was given this name because of his ability to beget many hundreds and thousands of children. Persons who are too sexually inclined and materialistic become so hard-hearted because of a slight loss of prestige that they can tolerate even the death of their children. Wow, such a heavy thing. And then he says that while people were talking among themselves about the wonderful voluntary death of Sati, the attendants who had come with her readied themselves to kill Daksha with their weapons. So this is actually it is a great failure on the part of Shiva's followers. They could not protect Sati. Such a and proper right. The attendants who came with Sati were meant to protect her from calamity, but since they were unable to protect their master's wife, they decided to die for her. You see, they were they were so committed. This is actually very important. Before dying, they wanted to kill Daksha. So if we cannot do, no, they are so committed. It is the duty of attendants to give protection to the master. In case of failure, it is their duty to die. Wow. So this is the Vedic standard. And they came forward forcibly, but Bhrigu Muni saw the danger and offered oblations into the southern side of the sacrificial fire, immediately uttered mantra hymns from the Yajurveda by which the destroyers of yajnic performances could be killed immediately. So here is an example of powerful hymn in Vedas, which, when chanted, could perform wonderful acts. In the present age of Kali, it is not possible to find expert mantra chanters. Therefore, all the sacrifice recommended in the Vedas are forbidden in this age. The only sacrifice recommended in this age is chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Because in this age, it is not possible to accumulate the needed funds for performing sacrifice, not to speak of finding expert brahmanas who can chant. So, not recommended for this. And then he says that when Bhrigu Muni offered oblations in the fire, immediately many thousands of demigods named Rubus became manifest. All of them were powerful, having achieved strength from Soma, the moon. So, and Prabhupada stated many thousands of demigods named Rupus became manifested because of the oblations offered in the fire. Brahmanas like Bhrugumuni were so powerful that they could create such powerful demigods simply by chanting the Vedic mantras. Vedic mantras are still available, but the chanters are not. Further, it's chanting Vedic mantras or chanting Gayatri or Rig mantras, one can attain the results and desires. In the present age of Kali, it is recommended by Lord Chaitanya that simply by chanting Hare Krishna, one can attain all perfection. Yeah, then when the Rubu demigod attacked the ghost and Duhyakas with half burnt fuel from the Yajna fire, all the attendants of Sati fled in different directions and disappeared. This was possible simply because of Brahma Tejas, Brahmanical power. So, and here it is actually, they are very powerful personalities, just chanting the mantras and they could create something and they can destroy something. The word Brahma Tejas used in this verse is significant. In those days, Brahmanas were so powerful that simply by desiring and by chanting the Vedic mantras, they could accomplish very powerful effects. But in the present age of desiring and by chanting the Vedic mantras, they could accomplish very wonderful effects. So in this age, we don't have that type of according to Pancharatrika system, in this age, the entire population is supposed to consist of Shudras because the Brahminical culture has been lost. So we hardly find any Brahmanas now. Even if they may be born in Brahmana family, but they don't have the quality. But if someone displays the signs of understanding Krishna consciousness, he should be accepted according to Vaishnava Spriti regulations as a prospective Brahmana and should be given all facilities to achieve the highest perfection. The most magnanimous gift of Lord Chaitanya is that the highest perfection of life is available in this age. If one simply adopts the process of chanting Hare Krishna, which is able to bring about the fulfillment of all activities in self-realization. Okay, thank you all very much. That's in the Bhakti and the Prabhu fourth canto, fourth chapter. Okay, yes, Prabhu, you have some questions. Yes, Prabhu. Sitakant.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, that was Pranam.
हाँ दंडवत
Prabhuji, congratulations for getting a spiritual scientist award from Andhra University.
थैंक
Uh,
यू
uh, Prabhuji, Durga is transcendental to the material modes of nature, na Prabhuji.
या
Durga is she's above the three modes of material nature, and Durga and Subhadra both are same, na Prabhuji. Subhadra Maya.
this energy is only pro she manifests her energy. Subhadra's expansion is Durga Devi.
Subhadra's expansion is Durga Devi. Okay, Prabhuji. And now the Sati, Prabhuji, Sati is also the expansion of Durga Devi, na Prabhuji.
Ah, yes. There they manifest different forms or different pastimes. She want to do this pastime as Sati, so she's manifesting like this.
Even Girija also, Prabhuji. Girija, like,
Girija, she is going to come as Girija now. She's
she's also like Durga expansion only.
yes. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Reka Chayeva Yasya Bhunani Vibharti Durga.
Prabhuji, they are not like Jivatattas, Prabhuji. This Durga or Sati, I
No,
mean,
they are all Shakti Tattvas. They are energy of the Lord.
energy of the Lord.
So
So
they
they're
are
not like Sati quitted her body, na Prabhuji. That body is just like how Krishna left his body before leaving. Similar kind, Prabhuji.
we don't know exactly how it happened. Some explanation is given, but details are not there, so we can speculate, but not but
Okay,
it may
Prabhuji.
not be true also.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay. Prabhuji, one more thing, the Rupa Goswami, they give the definition of pure devotion, like Anya Abhilasha Sunyam, Gnana Karmadana Vratam. So this Gnana refers to exactly what it refers to, that Gnana.
So basically, jnana refers to if we can have many understandings. One is to gain knowledge to get liberation from this material world. So we want to free from suffering. Na? This is the jnana tendencies to come out of suffering. We don't want to suffer anymore in this material world. So this type of mentality is jnana tendency. So what these jnanis do, they wanted to analyze things in this world with their intelligence and try to come out of this suffering. So now if say his wife died, This Jnani, what he will do, he will analyze, oh, my wife, she is made of Panch Mahabhutas. I am made of Panch Mahabhutas. So a Panch Mahabhuta, why Panch Mahabhuta should cry? So they are mixed in the material nature. I am also getting mixed in the material nature. So this is how they analyze. So they sit at the crematorium, they are seeing the burning body and trying to analyze these things. So these are all jnana tendencies. There are many different ways of jnana tendencies. Even the yogic practice they do, that is also of a jnana tendency only. So what we are not interested in that jnana is, we are not interested in knowing how things are happening. We are interested in pleasing Krishna, knowing about Krishna, developing a relation with Krishna, and whatever knowledge we are needed, Krishna will give. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. So we are not interested in knowledge in terms of which is not connected to Krishna, or we are not interested in any vairagya and sannyas and all these things. We are interested in somehow pleasing Krishna. It is relationship only we work. So that is the
Prabhuji,
main.
this the spiritual same that Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Prabhuji. But why I'm asking is sometimes the devotees they gain very good, I mean, knowledge on Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and scriptures. But the same knowledge they can misuse also. Like for they can for name and fame they can produce, or like some devotees they give lectures and they collect a lot of money for that. So they can misuse also. So this also that gnana nivritti Prabhuji, that we have to, that also kind of
No, no,
another
they are
another.
actually utilizing Krishna's. They are utilizing. They are collecting name in the collecting in the name of Krishna. See, I give Bhagavad Katha. If I can give good Bhagavad Katha, I am speaking about Krishna only, and people are emotional, so they get affected. Oh, they say, oh, so nice Katha, and they give donations. They give money. So now he is not giving any jnana class. He is giving bhakti class only, but he is doing using bhakti for making money. So this is karma tendency. This is not jnana tendency also.
Oh, acha, 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 acha.
This
That
is
is karma
karma
tendency.
tendency. You want to enjoy in this material world is karma tendency. You want to get out of this material world is jnana tendency. You want to serve in this world is bhakti tendency.
Excellent. Acha, acha, acha.
Like
Okay,
that.
so even if somebody is giving classes for the mood of serving the Lord's mission, then it is bhakti, Prabhuji.
Yeah, bhakti. So same activity, how you are doing. I want to get rid of this material world suffering. This is jnana tendency. I am meant to serve this world. This is bhakti in
Okay,
relation to Krishna. That's main thing.
okay,
Because if people serve in this material world, but they don't have connection, that is selfishness.
okay, 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 okay. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Any other questions, comments? Question is Lord Shiva has death? No, Lord Shiva does not have death. But Rudras, they may they may change. So what happens to that Rudras, we don't know. But Shiva will not have death. But Rudras are not permanent. Okay. Thank you very much.